We interrupt this program to bring you...
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
Are you sure about that?
The older the berry, the sweeter the juice.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
How black is your berry?
Cause I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm
black, because I'm black, y'all.
I'm black, y'all. Like, I just want to get, like, the long acrylics. I want to get, like, you know, the long braids, right? Like, 50 rings on. I just want to be, like, out here with it, you know. All the shit we created and made fly. I want to just, because I'm black, y'all, and I'm educated. So, what you going to do? What you want? Can't take
Don't let me
shit.
become a lawyer. I'm going to go in that motherfucker and make everybody mad.
How you going there with G's going? Anyway.
And still win.
It's the cat, honest cat. No, anyway. So, for y'all who don't know, this segment is just honestly questioning how black somebody's berry is, because you know black is berry.
The sweeter the juice.
I'm sorry, you gotta come faster with that comeback, all right? Let's try that one more time. Because you know how the blacker the berry.
The sweeter the juice.
I got a berry that got full of juice for you, Daddy. What's up? No? Okay. Anyway, next time, maybe next time.
I'm safe.
Now you want to be safe? You wasn't. Anyway. So, like I said, we basically just kind of review the actions of somebody, you know, maybe over the week or past couple of weeks, and we kind of talk about how black their berry might be. So, you ready?
I think so.
Well, today I would like to call to the stage Charlemagne Tha God.
That's your God.
Excuse me, that's what's his stage name. Don't do that. Don't do that. How about Uncle Charlotte, since that's his other stage name that he likes to go by?
Your uncle.
You know what? I'm tired. Anywho, so there's been like some beef going on. I don't want to call it beef because, you know, they've had a discussion themselves, but I thought it was a really interesting topic, and I kind of wanted to ask you about this. Like, so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Joe Budden on the Joe Budden podcast, he announced that him and his crew will no longer be on Spotify because Spotify was not trying to provide them with a deal that provides them with enough like equity or whatever the case may be in order for them to stay there based off of what they're worth. Charlemagne Tha God did not agree and felt as if since they are a company and they own this thing, Joe Budden did not have the right to ask for some of the things that he was asking for. And I don't want to say he should have just played his role, but that's basically what it sounds like, right? And so I'm bringing this to you because when you own something versus when you work for a company, right, you have two very black prominent people. What are you supposed to do, right? Like I kind of stumbled across this, and I've been racking my brain, like should I take his, you know, BlackBerry card away? Like no wine for Charlemagne? I don't know. I've been teetering back and forth because I understand his plight, right? Like you want to solidify yourself in this business, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices. But I also understand Joe Budden's point in, I created this. I make you a whole lot of money. Me and mine deserve more. What do you think?
I think both of them are right.
Oh.
And I think, and I know, like, I'm usually the person that's like pick one side, but it's like you can't pick one side because you got to figure out what works best for you. You know what I mean? Some people like being a role player. You know what I mean? Meaning being Charlemagne. You work for somebody, you get your check. You know what I mean? You got your. I think DJ Envy kind of said it best. He was like, "Look, I got a family. I want security for my family. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? On the other side, you could be, not to say Joe Budden and those people don't have families that they got to take care of, but they want to be stars. Being a star is added pressure. So when you think about things in the terms of sports, right? You could be a role player, right? It's kind of like you said. I'm gonna get paid millions of dollars to sit on the bench. All I got to do is just make open shots. And that's it. That's really all Charlemagne. I just got to show up, talk my shit, get paid. That's it. Right? You got this whole machine behind you that's going to do everything for you, distribute your shit, all that kind of stuff, right? Or you could be the star that has more of the weight on your shoulders. You got to do more, right? But you know, you sleep better for some people. They sleep better knowing that it's mine and nobody could do what they want with my content. They can't tell me what has to show up on my content. They can't tell me, like, you know what I mean, you got to work on these days or that day or whatever the case may be, right? Like, I do my shit the way I want to do it. So you just got to decide for yourself which one you want to be. And honestly, there's nothing, we've seen a number of people go from, and you think about sports again, you see people go from being a role player to a star. So maybe you just want to start out as a role player, you know what I mean, work for somebody, you know, work your way up and go from there. I think this goes into a larger conversation of this whole like movement now towards entrepreneurship, own your own, things like that. And I think it puts an unfair, if you don't mind me continuing going on in a soliloquy, is like, we put and I felt it too, an unfair pressure to own and to work for yourself, not understanding that, like, that's not everybody's story. You know what I mean? Since the beginning of time, people had to serve as apprentices before they moved up to being, you know, a master, you know what I mean, before they were able to become, carpenter or whatever the case may be. You had to go study under somebody. That's what working for people is. You learn the game in that time. I just had a conversation with my old trainer, Mark Williams, shout out to Team Footprints. But like, I asked him about it, I was like, yo, like, you know, you used to work a quote unquote real job and now you full time do like this thing with basketball. And he was just like, look, you got to pay your bills and you got to do your time. You got to serve your time first, right? But then you moonlight with whatever you do on the side. And then eventually, if they realize that's what you want to do, you know, full time, you slowly transition. But everybody's story is not going to be, I started out of nowhere, I started rapping. Even look at rappers. It feels like them niggas was, they just blew up out of nowhere. No, they've been selling drugs waiting for this moment. Not saying every rapper sells drugs, but like, no matter what story you think of, you do not just start at the beginning. J. Cole went to school for a number of years before he blew up. Any person, nobody just starts like that. And if they start like that, they don't finish like that. You know, I mean, either way.
I guess, like, for a lot of people, in terms of, like, you know, how Black History is, right? It was the put down of a man who was trying to advocate for owning your own, right? Like, knowing your worth and getting it for yourself. And so I definitely, like I said, I teetered back and forth because I was like, no, that's wrong. Like, you shouldn't put somebody down. Like, not everybody's going to be the entrepreneur. You need workers, right? We all need workers in life. Like, it is just what it is. So I understand if you want to be employed like he is, and I also understand, like, Joe Budden's side. But I felt uncomfortable with how they were both kind of killing each other in a sense, because it's like, I get both, right? As Black people, we don't get a whole lot of wins. And I think definitely it plays a part in how old you are. Like, for us, say we blow up tomorrow, I might be an employee tomorrow. I don't know. Like, depends on what type of guidance that I have. You know, if I'm 30, 40, I'm not trying to be nobody employer. I mean, employee. I'm trying to be the employer. Like, I want to own mine. So I definitely understand both. So actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just keep my BlackBerry card for Charlemagne. He can keep it this week.
But at the same time, people say that all the time. They want to own. They want to own. They want to own. Do you know what it takes to own something and be doing all that work at 40 and 50? What about your family that you got to spend time with?
I feel that. And I feel that. DJ Envy said, I got a family. I feel that. Like, sometimes I don't have time to gamble. And sometimes, like, it's a lot more work than where not everybody has to be a pioneer. Because pioneering is scary and it's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of sacrifice. So somebody's got to be the employee somewhere.
Yeah, I gotta do it. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's at the end of the day, and even with that, you know what I mean? This whole, like, Joe Budden's arguing about, like, you know, own. He has employees under him. Roy and Moore are not. It's not their podcast,
right?
So at the end of the parts too. Right? And whoever the fuck is over there, at the end of the day, you don't just, those people have their own ventures, they have their own things, that's theirs. But no matter what, sometimes you're the role player, sometimes you're the star. It depends on which game, which situation you're in. You just gotta figure out what works best for you. But that's why, personally, for myself, like, I don't think either one of them were wrong. It just depends on what situation you're in. And I also wouldn't take the black card because somebody's putting down somebody for wanting to own. because I think these are valuable conversations to have. It has nothing to do with, it's not about, in my opinion, shit. He's not going against the black community, putting the black community down by telling somebody, hey, like there's benefits in playing your role and stuff like that. He's just giving his business opinion on it. And that's just it.
That's a fact. All right. Well, Charlemagne, congratulations.